Yo, what is up, my guy? Bro, I am freaking out. My money's gone, my investors' money's gone. Everything is gone. Yo, chill, what's going on? Don't tell me to chill. I just had my third contractor over here. They all told me the same thing. The rehab, what I thought was gonna be 40 grand, turned out to be 80 grand, and I am freaking out. Are you laughing at me? What? No. It's just what's on TV here. Anyways, dude, it sounds like you screwed up. You should have watched that video. I literally just sent you the video the other day on how to estimate rehab costs properly. What's going on, guys? My name is Bannon. 8 months ago, I was putting in offers on my very first investment property with rehab numbers that I thought were accurate, like that guy over there. Hey man, it's Bannon. I lost your money. You're fired. Today, we're gonna be discussing the exact processes I have used to go from a complete beginner with zero construction background to be able to walk into a completely new fix and flip and come up with a full rehab budget within just a few minutes. Let's get into it. All right, before we dive in, it's important to understand the goal that we're working towards. When you're looking to buy fix and flip deals, other investors move very fast, which means you have to be able to move quickly, not only when you're making your offers, but also when you're closing on the back end. A good deal does not last long, which means you don't have 2 weeks to go walk the property, get with multiple contractors, go over multiple different bids, and then finalize your rehab budgets just to make an offer on the property. You're competing with investors like me who can walk the property, get rehab budgets on site, and make an offer based on what we just did in the last 30 minutes. And if it's a great deal, we might not even go walk it. We can just look at pictures and make an offer sight unseen. The goal needs to be able to walk into a property very confidently, look at a few different key items, and come up with a rehab budget based on those items. Or even get to the level to where you can just look at some pictures and know by the square footage, bed and bath, about roughly what you're gonna be paying for a rehab. However, this is the goal, not the starting point. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to encourage you to go start making careless offers just because you're trying to move quick. At first, you're going to be moving slower, which is fine because you're going to be able to move quickly very, very soon. All right, so that brings us to our strategy, which is relationships first and numbers second. This is going to be contrary to other investors' advice, which is the typical multiply the square footage by a certain dollar amount, depending if it's a small, medium, or large rehab. Now, I'm not saying this is bad advice, but if you're a beginner, it can still leave you way off the mark of what the actual rehab is gonna cost. You might think that roof looks pretty good, but then the contractor comes in and says, nah, that's a 20-year-old roof and we gotta replace that. Bam, there goes another 8K that you weren't expecting. Now, imagine doing that for all the different major parts of the project. You're probably not gonna screw up everyone, but if you screw up 2, 8K turns to 16K, and heck, if you do it 3 times, that'll be 24K. So before you even start looking at deals, our strategy is go make relationships with 3 contractors that understand your goals and are willing to help you. Once you have relationships with those 3 contractors, you can now go find a deal. And once you have a deal, you can have those 3 contractors walk the property with you and get you line item bids. And you'd be surprised how different their estimates are based on what you give them. Your goal when doing this is to absorb as much knowledge from these guys as you possibly can. And if one guy is gonna be different on cost than another guy, have them explain why there's a cost difference. So if one guy's saying their cabinets are gonna cost 10 grand to do a full install on a big kitchen, the other guy's like, no, I can do it for 6 grand. Have them explain why there's difference on pricing. When you have good relationship with these guys before you get something under contract, it's a lot easier to trust what they're telling you as you go walk the property with them. And based on what they tell you, finalize a budget with one of them and then go start making offers on that property based on those numbers. So now that you've done a deal or 2 and you've started to build up your knowledge base, you can now start applying what I call the package deal. And this is how I'm able to go into a new property and make estimates on rehab costs extremely quickly. So every new deal that I walk into, I automatically assume that we're gonna replace the roof, we're gonna replace the gutters, we're gonna probably take out a couple walls, redo the flooring, redo the kitchen, redo the baths, probably do a little bit of HVAC work. These are kind of the norms of what I expect to have to do when we go into a new project. So all those different items that I mentioned, this is what I consider the package when we're walking into a new deal. And the deals that we focus on that I mentioned earlier, we do focus in the 1,200 to 1,500 square foot range. Going into that with our package deal, I know we can spend about 70K and get most deals up to par with that amount of money. However, I just kind of work off of that. So if it needs a little bit more work, let's say it needs new windows, we're gonna add 3 grand to that package deal. If it needs more major HVAC work that we don't usually plan for, we might add 5 or 6 grand for that. But if it just got a new kitchen and it has new countertops, new appliances, new cabinets, new everything, we're probably gonna take off like 15 grand because that's a part of the project that we usually do, but we don't have to budget for on this one. So just to recap, we use that 70 grand kind of as a baseline. baseline, because we know going into it, we usually do a roof, we usually do gutters, we usually do all the different things I considered in that package. And now we're just asking, what are we not doing in that package, or what do we have to add to that package to get this deal done? So that way, instead of starting from zero and going all the way up, adding every little line item, we're just comparing a few different small tweaks that we do in some projects compared to others, or maybe adding something to this project that we don't normally do. So a little bonus tip, we run our numbers on the high side every single time. If we walk a new deal and it looks like the roof is in pretty good shape, but we're not 100% sure, we're still gonna plan on doing a new roof. That way, once we get it under contract and we go walk it with a contractor, if he says the roof is in good shape and it's good enough to sell, great. What we just budgeted for 7 grand and got it under contract, assuming we had to spend that. Now that we don't have to spend that 7 grand, we can just add that to our bottom line. So if we were making 40 grand on it, now we're making $47,000 on that flip. Congratulations, you just got your first deal on the way, but the question is, how do you start moving with a little more speed? The great news is you're starting to build your knowledge base. The amazing thing that comes with your first deal is you get a full scope of work of everything that you completed and how much you paid for each line item to get done, assuming you have a good contractor in the first place. Let's say the house you just renovated was 1,200 square feet. That is amazing. Now you have all the information of the different parts of the project and how much they cost for a 1,200 square foot home. If you need a new roof on a new project, great, you know how much that is. If you need a new bathroom, you know what that is. If you need new countertops, kitchen, flooring, everything, you know how much that is for any projects moving forward. That is why I'm a huge fan of sticking with the same style and size of homes, because that way, if you go into another home that's 1,200 square feet and it's roughly the same condition as the one you did in the past, you already know exactly how much that renovation is going to cost, at least close enough. Every time you switch up the style of the home or the size of the home, even if you're a seasoned investor, I still recommend you go walk it with some contractors to make sure you guys are on the same page, because like I said, it's new to you. So if it's an 1,800 square foot home compared to what you used to do a 1,200 square foot home, 600 square feet can make a difference. And even as you continue to build your knowledge base, I still recommend frequently getting updated bids from different contractors to make sure they're not upping their prices on you. Contractors can be a lot like your internet providers. They might be amazing at the start, provide the best services with the best prices, but over time, it's very likely they'll start inching up those prices on you. So just like you shop your internet provider, make sure you're shopping your contractors as well to make sure you're getting competitive prices year round. Alrighty guys, so just to summarize, I want to touch back on the importance of building quality relationships with good contractors from the beginning. Really take your time with your first deal and get your numbers right. You can still move efficiently. Just because you're new doesn't mean you have to take a long time. But what I want you guys to avoid is just firing from the hip based on numbers you think are right. And once you get your first couple deals under your belt, you really start building your knowledge base on what each line item costs based on the type of homes you focus on. And once you have that knowledge base, you can begin building your package deal and start making estimates on rehabs very quickly. Alrighty guys, I hope you got a lot of good information out of that. Make sure to drop a like if you did. Please subscribe. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. That is our first goal. If you have any questions based on what we talked about, make sure to drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to respond. And other than that, we will see you next time in our next video.